Have you ever found yourself stuck trying to figure out how to iterate over an enum by its integer value? It can be quite a puzzle, right? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to unravel this coding conundrum together. I totally get it. Working with enums can be tricky, especially when you need to iterate over them based on user input. You're not alone in this struggle. Many developers face similar challenges. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user asked, does the enum type have a short way to iterate over its values by their property? They provided a code snippet for an enum called weekdays and mentioned that they need to iterate based on a user-defined integer value. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this together. So, what's the issue here? The user wants to print the names of the weekdays, starting from a specific integer value, but they are unsure how to achieve this with their current enum setup. Let's break it down step by step. And stick around. I have a neat trick at the end that will make working with enums even easier. You won't want to miss it. To iterate over the enum based on a user-defined integer value, the user can create a method within the enum that retrieves the corresponding weekdays. This method will take an integer as input. Next, the user should implement the logic to add the weekdays to the list based on the input number. This will involve using a loop to iterate through the enum values. After that, the user needs to handle the wraparound logic. If the input number exceeds the total number of weekdays, the user should continue adding from the beginning of the enum. Finally, the user can call this method from the main program, passing the user-defined integer value, and print the resulting list of weekdays. Fun fact, did you know that enums in programming are often used to represent a fixed set of constants? They can make your code cleaner and easier to read. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggested by a user involves using the values method to retrieve all enum values. They recommend mapping these values to their corresponding numbers and filtering based on user input. For better efficiency, the user suggests storing the mapped array in a static field. This allows for quicker access during iterations. Finally, they provide a method that validates user input and iterates through the enum values, printing the full names of the weekdays starting from the user input. Here's the neat trick I promised. Consider using a map or a list to store your enum values if you find yourself needing to iterate in different ways frequently. This can simplify your code significantly. And there you have it. You should now be able to iterate over your enum based on user input. Remember, coding is all about finding solutions. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips and keep coding.